Ramon Newman here, founder of New Mavericks, Game-Changing Leadership Insights. Do you remember the time when you made the right decision and action at the right time? Remember how good that felt? And wish you could replicate that more and more, if not all the time. So today we're going to talk about how to be in the right state to make the right decision and right action at the right time. So let's get real. We live in a fantastic information age, but it bombards us a lot, causes us to overthink a lot, overanalyze, and not really get on with the job of influencing our future. So we have too many thoughts, which really weakens our energy and our time. So I know you've probably said, you've heard others say, hey, I'm not in a good state right now. I can't do this. So what is it to be in the right state? Why is it important? How do we get there? So first of all, the why is really pretty much everything in life itself, relationships, work, any performance of any activity, is really a reflection of our internal state. The better our internal state, the better the reflection. Now, what is it to be in the right state? Well, from my experience of working with business leaders over the last 15 years, pretty much every good decision is really made from a very fine feeling level. And this is not just any old feeling or emotion, which can often lead us astray, but really this is a state where your awareness, which sees, your heart, which feels, your mind, which knows and thinks, your ego, which expresses and projects and experiences, your intellect, which discerns and decides, and your body, which acts and executes, are very well unified and coordinated so that spontaneously you make the right decision at the right time. Now, you can have all the great techniques and strategies and formulas and models in the world, but if you're not in the right state, which is working from that fine feeling level, you're not going to be as effective. Now, an example of this is Novak Djokovic, the tennis player. I think he's number one in the world right now, but he won Wimbledon for the second time just recently, the last tournament. But for 2 years prior, he'd had quite a major slump in winning big tournaments. So he got some people to work with him to get him on that right state, and so he could make those winning moments, because he was getting into finals, but somehow he wasn't able to make those winning moments. So it comes to the final set of Wimbledon. It could have gone either way between him and Federer. And for some reason, he'd been able to find that right state. He made the right strokes, the winning strokes, and didn't make mistakes and was victorious. So literally every leader needs to develop that muscle, culture that muscle to function from the fine feeling level as much as possible so that they can really, make that right decision. They can command and take bold action and grabbing those right opportunities and minimizing mistakes and averting dangers. Example is one of our top clients. He was CEO of the year a few years back in his country when we first started working with him. And he got it because he was brilliant at mergers and acquisitions. Now, he told us that actually in a lot of these big meetings where he's looking to acquire a company, he'll actually go very quiet and very still. Even while other people will talk or he's expected to talk, he'll just go very quiet for up to a minute. And most people think he was doing that because he was trying to sweat the other person out and make them change the way they were presenting things or offering things. But in actual fact, what he was doing was getting very clear and still in himself on that fine feeling level to know if this was the right time to acquire this company and how he felt about the people and the business he was looking at acquiring, whether it was the best thing for the long term. So also, if you want to influence people, it's really important to be in the right state, because people are literally buying your energy and the feeling that you're giving them before they're even open to hearing about whatever product or service you have to offer. Great example of this is the great internet marketer Frank Kern. Very personable, likable, very giving, very sharing, very nonchalant, very easygoing, and it just opens people up to what he has to say and what he has to offer. So how do we get in the right state? Well, first of all, that really comes down to purifying those inner stresses and frustrations and letting them go within yourself, and also making those adjustments in yourself and in your business so that you're really at peace with your emotions and you have that clear, solid belief in what you do. We have a client who recently has been developing a new business, fantastic new business, great innovation, has a lot of the structure in place, but still wasn't able to get the big clients that he really wanted. So we got him to focus on his internal state within himself and his business. Within 2 months, he attracted 3 new major clients. So that's just the power of being in the right state. Now, the basis for being in the right state is really having a simple, settled, yet alert and awake, very sharp awareness. And this is the state where there's a lot of integration and expandedness between your heart and your mind. So you feel more, see more, know more, and you're able to act more boldly and precisely in the right direction. So, also that state, that simple, very settled yet alert, sharp awareness is really where you have that great self-love, self-trust, self-respect, and self-confidence, and really functioning from that fine feeling level. So it's kind of like the deeper you go into the ocean, the more silent and settled and expanded it becomes, and you just see more possibilities. So pretty much every action does, which includes your thinking and your feeling, comes from silence, from stillness. So the more you plug yourself in to the source of all good feelings and emotions and thinking and actions, which is that infinite silence that we're all connected to, then what you find is that you're more natural, which is really the basis for effectiveness. You're more unified, you're more truthful, you're more real, you're more sincere. You have that great precision and clarity, and you have that feeling of boldness about your actions, and that is also in your feelings and in your thoughts. So that's a very, very powerful place to function from. So the more you can culture that, it's kind of like being in the eye of the storm. And our top client, when he was working on his biggest deal in his corporate history with two of his team members, he said, it involved long hours, tight time frames, many multiple no-go hurdles, and many multiple opportunities for stress. And he said, despite all that, he felt like he was the eye of the storm, always calm and relaxed. And so that's really functioning from the right state. So also, being high status in whatever you do and who you are really comes from being in the right state. So in summary, being in the right state is really to make the right decision and make the right action at the right time to influence your future in the most powerful evolutionary direction is really the ability to function from that fine feeling level.